You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
Yeah, I went to Wuthering Heights last night with Kirk.
Oh, how was that?
Not romantic at all.
Well,
It's not a romantic story.
I thought it was. I seriously thought it was.
I mean, I understand where you'd get that idea.
Yeah.
from the marketing.
Well, also from, I feel like crazy people will tell you it's a romantic story, but I feel like it's never been a romantic story.
We got to talk about a lot of like specific things to you, but my wife and I have been having this like debate that I think you'll love, which is, isn't it like the 1850s when we developed the concept of romantic love, or at least the language around it that we can like trace back to in our recorded history?
Oh, that's more than I know.
Oh, well, I heard this recently, like it's like because the concept of falling in love for romance didn't exist prior to,
A certain point. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and like the fact that this woman is in love with somebody and that's burdening her when it would be economically more viable to marry this other guy. And like, when does Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice take place? Is that the late 1800s or the early 1900s?
That sounds real. I'm not a Jane Austen
Yeah,
girl.
I wouldn't know either.
Hey,
That was a far more romantic movie than Wuthering Heights.
It is a romantic movie, yeah, for sure.
I saw 10 Things I Hate About You. I understand.
All right.
Jane Austen. Is that
That
the
was
one?
Shakespeare.
Damn it! Oh, that's
Yeah,
Taming of the
come
Shrew.
on, man.
Taming of the Shrew. Shoot! Darn.
Is there a Pride and Prejudice modernization?
I mean, there has to be. There's Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
There's
but
a
it's something
Sense and
else.
Sensibility one called, oh God, From Prada to Nada or something.
Oh, I heard of that.
Yeah. But I don't know if there's a Pride and Prejudice one, besides Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
Sure, yeah. Wait, again, we're here for you, but Gwyneth Paltrow in a movie that's...
Emma.
Is that Jane Austen or is that Shakespeare?
I think so, yeah. No, I think that's Jane Austen.
I mean, isn't it kind of woke of me, Vanessa, to conflate a woman's work with a man's work? Because Shakespeare, Billy, being a man, and Jane Austen being a woman, obviously 200 years apart, but...
I think you're equally bringing up genders when you discuss the classics, and that's wonderful.
So last time you were on, you
Well,
announced...
you want to introduce the show first?
Oh, yeah, because this is the interview, so
Yeah.
I do that. And then
Yeah,
you ask
you
the
do
first
that,
question.
yeah.
He's teaching me the show as we do it.
I love it.
Welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Nick.
You know who you are. And
Yeah, I'm
we're
always
here
wondering.
with, I believe you say artist, and then you say filmmaker, and then you say theater director?
I think it's
You're multi-hyphenates.
Artist, film director, theater maker, maybe. Although I have a new one this week. This week we feel human.
Oh,
We feel editor, because that's most of what I'm doing right now. And we feel artist third.
When you say we, am I supposed to use she, they pronouns with you now?
No.
Or, okay, I want to make sure.
That's just passive speech patterns I pick up when I'm stressed out. So we are feeling this way, by which I mean I'm feeling this way. Or occasionally, sometimes I'll do that when I mean you're feeling that way, but you'll probably be able to tell the difference.
Okay. Are you familiar with Venom, the concept of, or the Spider-Man character? Okay, because he always goes, "We are Venom," and that's...
I'm just like Venom. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that works for me. So you released your 7th feature film at Twin Cities Film Festival. How was it?
It was really wonderful. We sold out our first screening, so we got another one. We sold out that one. We were one of the only films that got to play at both theaters, which was really cool because they expanded to 2 theaters this year. And then we won the Bill Cooper Finest Minnesota Feature, or Best Minnesota Feature Award at the awards ceremony, which was crazy exciting. And we were really proud, really excited. We got really great audience feedback about, people laughed, they cried, they thought it was relatable. My actors got a lot of positive feedback, which was cool because I feel like I work with some actors that don't work as much in the wider community, and it was cool to see them get some really good attention from it.
Justin Jones does need more attention.
Poor Justin. Every movie that I put him in so far, he's just like a father figure who dies. And then always sees it at Twin Cities Film Festival, and I was like, that was great. And he's like, maybe next time I'll have a bigger part in your movie. I'm like, maybe you'll just be a father figure who dies again.
Mm-hmm.
Have your father and Justin ever met? Or been in the same room?
No.
Okay. Dang. I would like this to happen for my own entertainment.
Okay.
I've been able to orchestrate this with guests before and their parents when they told. Well, you're in a similar pattern to a guest that was on whose movie was premiering, or excuse me, not premiering, having its first official private screening.
Yeah.
And they told us that the person's dad was going to be there and wasn't going to like it. I was so excited to see the dad.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Wet Paper Bag. I listened to that episode.
Oh, cool. Thanks. It's nice when guests are on the show who understand the show.
Yeah.
So let's start a fight. Edina, the Edina Theater or the St. Louis Park Theater, which is better for TCFF screenings?
Wow.
Theaters, see, but it's like tied in. What's the other one? It's a D word. The one company owns two different brands and makes them compete against each other to sell more.
I thought it was like Tide and Gain.
Yeah, Tide and Gain. The same company owns them. Isn't it Procter and Gamble owns them both? And then they make them compete. So TCFF. Yeah, well, who cares?
Maybe Edina.
Why?
Have you been to their like gold room on the second level?
Many times.
It's just like so cool. Like I think like film festival, you're there to like celebrate and feel cool and feel important, and I feel like there's nothing quite like a gold room with a bar to make you feel really cool. And the theater's really
I
nice
couldn't agree
there.
more. Thank you, Vanessa. Very much powers. Maximum powers.
What Edina location?
It was Edina Man.
It is the Edina Man. So it's owned by the Man Theater chain, but it's this nice local theater.
Yeah, and I think like this year maybe it was just for me, anytime something screens for the first time, I'm just like so anxious. Like I can't really have fun. I feel like I like throw a drink back and then like persevere. And our second screening was at Edina, so I just felt more relaxed going into it. And then like a few of us went to like a wine bar afterwards, and maybe that's not fair to the St. Louis Park Theater because it's great and it's big and it's more than one thing can screen at a time, but I feel like my experience was just a little more relaxed at the Edina Theater.
This is the debate portion of the show. If I had to debate you, what I was going to do is I have better memories of the St. Louis Park one from seeing more movies there than the Edina one, but they're both nice. Great job, TCFF. Right. So let's talk festivals. We're not doing a second take. Let's talk festival strategy. What is your festival strategy? Like you said something interesting to me. Like festivals are a chance to celebrate and that sort of thing. I used to think festivals were that, but then Nick never shows up. So like, what are we celebrating? What are the biggest?
Why does Nick? Hold on. Why does Nick have to show? Yeah, but let's make it about.
If he never celebrates his work, how is he going to
Let's put
understand
Nick on the
good?
hot seat. Why does Nick have to be there so that we can celebrate?
The whole team. Like, do you notice when members of your team aren't there?
Yeah, it's definitely more fun when everyone is there. I mean, we had our AD came in from Chicago and our wardrobe person came in from Georgia, and like they all got to be there. It's definitely fun to celebrate with everybody.
For both screenings? Or the first one?
Just for the first one.
Yeah.
I think the first screening of something is that celebration that, we did it. I think after that, gosh, it's so hard. Like, why are you paying money for your film to screen somewhere that you might go to, that you might not go to? I think that comes back to like, well, why did we make the movie? For people to see it. So it's like cool to know, even like it's screening in Vegas in 2 weeks or something. I can't go to that one, but it's cool to know that it's like gonna screen in Vegas, and it screened in Chicago and we couldn't go to that one, but it's like cool to know that it screened in Chicago and that people are like seeing it. And then also like I have had the experience of a film getting picked up for distribution from festivals, although we're in talks with a distribution place for Silly Little Wounds right now. So like that's less something that we need, but more like I made it so that people would see it. So if we can go and see people see it and be part of that experience, it's great. But just knowing that it's someplace getting seen by people, to me, is sort of like that's the point of making the movie, and then that's the point of festivals.
So from a business perspective, one of the reasons to do festivals for somebody, that's considering it would be you could find distributors through festivals, but has that's been your experience only the one time or multiple times? It's been a strategy you've had before? I don't know.
So with I have made 7 features. Only 4 of them were like at a level where they went to festivals and stuff like that. And so it's like 1 out of 4 got picked up for distribution at a festival. And I actually didn't even know that was possible at that time. That was just a festival or a film that was like going around. And I got an email from this company and they were like, we saw your film at this thing and we'd like to distribute it, which was wild. And I know that that's pretty rare. So I think it's like, yeah, that might happen. But I know that that's like not common.
Have you gone into black on any of these?
No.
All right. I mean, Mandy June Turpin told me once that like 0.002%, it's some ridiculous number, actually make it there. But
I have like tracker sheets for the ones that like I'm responsible for, and I think one of them is like 10% paid back, and one of them is like 7% paid back or something.
Whoa.
So it's
Okay.
not a lot. It's not a lot.
you're supposed to, somebody else told me once you're supposed to have like a 20, the guy who wrote and directed Apocalypse, if you ever heard of that movie.
I did hear about that movie.
Yeah, he said you're supposed to have a 25-year view on like
Wow.
from initial when it releases to when it will stop earning. Theoretically, the average is 25 years, and you're very young, so your movie hasn't been around for 25 years. The first one that got picked up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Keepsake, I don't think is gonna make it. That one's already been on Amazon for like 8 years. But Witch Might, that one had a crazy. So I get a check for that like every quarter.
Whoa.
Well, Keepsake is like every month, but like sometimes it's like $1. But Witch, I get a check every quarter, and I think at its lowest, it's been like $40. And just totally randomly, last year we had a quarter that was like a $500 quarter.
Hell yeah.
And I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. Like a couple people like asked me about it, and they're like, "Did it go viral somewhere?" I'm like, "I have no idea."
Well,
So-
and like people that we all know locally who, there's almost no one local who can make a full-time job making narrative features, and
Yeah.
then, so even like the lucky directors making a movie every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You can't sustain yourself without something else.
Oh, for sure.
And what's your other thing?
The other thing that I do.
Yeah, you have like we were talking before we went on the air. We're not
Yeah,
supposed to do
I'm a
that.
full-time editor at Captivate Media and Consulting.
Oh, and you don't have a separation between your W-2 and your like I do. I have a separation.
Oh, I do. Yeah,
Oh.
so I have a W-2 for my day job, and then I still have my LLC for other film work. Yeah.
I meant in that you are not two different people. You're talking to Kyle Farx right now. You may
Oh.
know another person that exists who has that W-2 job. That's a completely separate person than is right here right now. So that person's not responsible for what this character says.
Oh no, I'm me all the time.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It is. I'm lucky I have a workplace that I can do that. It's weird to work like in video and have my coworkers think it's cool that I make movies, because I'm like, you could also make movies. Like, in fact, I don't do camera, I don't do like sound. I'm very like on the artistic side, and then the technical thing I do is editing. My coworkers are like honestly really great cinematographers, good gaffers. When they have the time. We don't always have the time at our job to do these like elaborate setups, but they're like, wow, you make movies. And I'm like, you could literally make a movie probably better than I could if like someone just gave us a camera and a light and was like, go. So
Maybe it's that's an interesting, what do you think holds them back? I have ideas in my head, but
I don't know.
time, organization, that's what comes to my mind first.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that maybe, but they seem like pretty driven people. I think there's a perception of a barrier there, even with modern technology. I think there's a perception of a barrier of like, you don't just like make a film. And most of the people I know who make films are people who just like, for whatever reason, stuck their hand through the mirror and it was permeable,
That's the most salient metaphor for it, is sticking your hand through a mirror.
Yeah.
That's Alice in Wonderland, isn't it? Through the Looking Glass.
I mean,
sorry.
it's like multiple. Yeah, through the Looking Glass is probably the origin of that metaphor, but I feel like it's an image you see a lot. Is like, this is a force field. No, it's not. Right.
Well, it's like the Matrix when you're like, oh, I've taken the red pill or the blue pill. You've taken the red pill, and you believe you can make the movie. You see the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a compliment. But
Thank you.
Is it?
no, well,
I don't know. I don't remember which one was the actual pill that he takes to get out of the Matrix.
It's
Is it in
the
the blue
red
pill? Oh, I thought the red pill was a bad thing because Now
of
people,
American politics.
Yeah,
It's been hijacked, but in the movie it was a good thing.
Oh, okay.
It represented freeing your mind.
They also didn't have black pills in there, so
What?
because I
What is it?
assume black pill comes from, unless it's like something with like DARPA and here's your cyanide
pill?
cap. If you get caught, take the black pill. I hope that's not the case. It's what I think
I
about
think
most
it
of my
was,
time.
but
Taking cyanide capsules.
No, like I mean, your partner is like a spook, so
Whoa,
Tristan.
what?
I always tell
What's
him
that
that when I
mean?
see him. I assume he's a spy, right? Navy guy.
Oh God, no, he does IT.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the perfect type of spy for today's world.
doing IT work.
Well, I wouldn't know. I mean, a lot of his stuff is classified. So
Because he's a spy.
he did say like, I'm trying to think of what it
I'm
was.
calling you a spy.
There was like a phrase. He's like, if I text you this, like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
over. Like the world is. I've forgotten what the phrase is.
Bananas, coconut. All right.
All right, and then just like, but yeah.
What's are you guys like looking at another project after the one that's currently coming into the world?
Yeah.
An eighth feature, if you will.
Yeah, so Aaron Pekka wrote a feature
Whoa.
called Breadcrumbs that's pretty excellent. We were just meeting about that yesterday, and we're working on trying to learn the business side and maybe get like actual investors for that one, with some help from Keely Kemp, who does work up north.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working on right now.
Do you have? Are you comfortable saying like a log line or something for it?
Oh, I'm so bad at log lines. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. There's a girl, a young artist who it like appears she's committed suicide, but her like spirit is like possessing her old boss and trying to like paint clues to solve her own murder.
I like that.
It's cool. It's
Genre.
Yeah. It could be darker than it is. Erin does a really great job of balancing humor and like character moments with kind of, and then she's a really good mystery writer. She's written, a mystery novel. So I think that the mystery itself is really satisfying, and I think it would be a good candidate for filming up north and getting some of those tax incentives. I think it's kind of a crowd pleaser. It's a fun script. So yeah, that's kind of where we're headed right now.
And she just did, right as we talked about in the earlier debate everyone has already seen, did writing contributions and starred in Silly Little Wounds.
Yeah.
And you've directed things she's written before. What's the name of the one?
Peanut Butter and Jelly was
Peanut
like
Butter and Jelly.
the big one. Yeah.
But you've done more. What are the other ones of hers? that
Familiar and then Puppy Love.
Familiar and Puppy. Oh, she wrote Puppy Love.
She wrote Puppy Love, yep, and she stars in that as well.
Okay. It's a dog one though, right?
It is,
You
yeah.
see humans in yours?
You do. So it is about a doggy daycare / dance studio.
Uh-huh.
And Erin plays the lead, the head instructor. So she kind of ballets about the whole time. And the plot is basically that her boyfriend comes to try to propose to her, and he has a cupcake with a ring in it, and the dogs get the cupcake and they eat it. They have to figure out which one ate the ring.
That's great.
It's cute. It's fun.
There's something that propels me to the end of that I can tell in there. That's what I'm looking for in pretty much any story.
Yeah.
The woman's dead. How did she die? Her boss is painting. I get it.
Yeah.
That's all I need. And then Salt Circles was about an abortion where they had to summon the devil. Is that what it was?
A demon.
A
yeah.
demon, excuse me,
It's two teenage girls in a kind of an alternate reality where abortion is banned like all across the United States. And yeah, so one of them gets pregnant and the other one proposes that they summon a demon, a wish granting demon to rid them of the situation.
I want to jump back to where you were talking about the business, finding investors, and this distributor conversation you mentioned. And theoretically, this is coming out before you've made some sort of deal. So, like, what is helpful to you in this process? Because you're in this process. We know other people in this process. We want to get into this process when we're through some stages on something else. So, how would you define where you're at in the process, where you're trying to get to, and how you think you're going to get there?
With distribution?
Yeah.
So I'm working with a company that helps you find a distributor.
Okay.
So all of our past projects, like I said, so one of them is self-distributed, one of them was picked up by a company at a film festival, and then Sins, and I was not part of this, so it's a little hard for me to speak to, but Tristan kind of cold emailed a bunch of places and saw like what he perceived the best deal to be. And we got in with a good distributor because we got in with Gravitas, but it hasn't been like awesome as far as the deal goes. They don't do very much for you besides just like being a big name. So I kind of had decided I didn't want to go that route. And I like my smaller distributor that I'm working with for Witch, but like I kind of wanted to see if Silly Little Wounds could do a little bit better. So at first I had reached out to like Mill Creek, and was like talking with them for a little bit, and then they just like stopped responding to emails, which was exactly what they did when we tried to do the same thing for Sins. So then, do you know Dave Ash? Are you like aware? Yeah. So Dave Ash, I was working on a project with him. He was like, oh, I work with these guys at Circus Road. So he did this introduction, and they basically are a company that like shops your film out to distributors for you. And because like the business side is where I have the least amount of experience, least amount of savvy, just like I would pay someone to do something I don't know how to do, like sound or like camera, I'm like, oh, I can pay someone to do this. So we've signed the contract. I've sent them like the deliverables, and they're kind of in the process of shopping the film out. And they do everything from streaming to like theatrical to like physical media, and so they're kind of going to see what the best deal they can get for us is, and their understanding of the best deal is far superior of my understanding of the best deal, and that's the step that we're at right now.
What kind of deliverables did they ask for? Is it the same as like what festivals ask for? Poster, trailer, the movie?
Yeah, similar. I had to send Blu-rays because they said physical media gets distributors' attention more than links. I did also send a link. A few stills, a poster, a trailer.
You make Blu-rays?
No, you have someone make them for you. I mean, I can make Blu-rays. I have, but honestly, it just stresses me out.
Really? Don't you do it?
I used. I haven't in a long time. It's a pain.
It's a pain in the ass, and like it can just fail because it's a technology that's sort of like going out of fashion, and then you just have to do it again. And
not here. Not
no,
with me.
I love physical
Cal's
media.
a big
What's the last
guy.
Blu-ray you bought? Because you were on that quest to buy all the Minnesota movies on disc or something. Find all of them.
The last one I bought was probably a Minnesota one. I'm trying to remember which one.
Fantastic.
Maybe Lumber Baron.
Lumber Baron. We just had the director of that on.
Oh.
Barry, do you know him?
Barry Anderson, yeah.
How do you guys know each other?
We were on a panel together at TCFF once.
Okay.
And he's a friend of Jason's, and Jason Schumacher is like where I did my internship that made it possible for me to like be an editor professionally. And I worked a little bit on trying to resurrect like a really old movie of Barry's that I don't think ever got resurrected through that internship.
What was the internship? Where was that? When was that?
It was just when I was at MCTC, like when I was still there, you had to do 40 hours of internship, but you had to find it yourself.
Oh, okay.
And he was there just before you, because you were back there 2011, 2014 or something?
I was 2014 to 2016.
Okay, so yeah, you were 20...
I finished in 2011, finally. But yeah, I remember like that sucked that you had to go and find it yourself.
Yeah, but I had been like on the lookout, and I saw this guy, Jason, posting, who seemed to be doing like what I wanted to do, which was editing for money and then doing his own projects. And so
Schumacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, hey.
You interned for Jason Schumacher?
Yeah, and he's the one who taught me like A-roll, B-roll editing. He's the one who taught me like client billing, like all that stuff. I mean, like, yeah, he is the reason that I have the job that I have entirely.
What did you learn about client billing?
Just like how to bill hours as a freelancer. Like, this is a thing that I rant about a lot. So I went to theater school, and then I went to film school. Some backup, right? And in neither institution did they teach us anything about business. Like about, and especially because a lot of theater artists and a lot of film artists go to become like freelancers, or they kind of cobble together a job through gig work, and like no one teaches you how to track your hours, what you should charge, what you should bill for, what you should not bill for, how to any of that stuff. And Jason taught me that, along with, like I said, A-roll, B-roll editing, and just like kind of commercial workflow. And also they don't do any ethics classes in theater or film, and I think that they should. Well,
like, to me, hey, this job should cost I'm going to give you my theory on time and money for time.
Yeah.
I don't believe in it because paying somebody $50 an hour to even a lawyer. Let's just use lawyers because they had to go through school, they had to go through another school, and they're kind of a commodity. Sorry, lawyers, I know you're all very special and good, but one lawyer that's $50 is different than another lawyer that's $50.
Correct.
So
and should they both be charging $50? Maybe not.
No.
But you have to, if you are that lawyer, know what you are comfortable charging and what is going to get you enough work to survive.
I feel like what you have to learn is, and tell me if I'm wrong, because you guys have done this more than I have done this, two-dimensional thinking. Like, what should this cost, and how much time am I going to tell them I'm spending on it? And it might be that amount of time or not, right? Like, doesn't that exist?
I tried not to do flat rate work. I did always do hourly work. So how much time I actually spent, did matter. But I remember, when I first started out, I was charging, $30 an hour or something, and I was subcontracting a lot of work through other people, and then it was a different friend of mine, Ben Myrick, who I remember just one time he's like, I'm gonna pay you $40 an hour, you need to charge more. And same thing, a couple years later, he's like, I'm gonna pay you $50 an hour, you need to start charging $50 an hour. And then he was the one who taught me about things like rush rates and that you should charge for the time you spend writing emails and So it's very what is this work worth and what can I justify doing it for? Because most people starting out in freelance will not be getting paid what they're worth and maybe will never even get to that level. By the time I stopped freelancing, I was charging $75 an hour, but I know people who I would say are less talented than I am who are charging $100 an hour, so.
But a dumb client off the street doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, dumb clients, but you know what I'm talking about. How do you figure it out? How does what she's saying resonate with you, dear brother?
I mean, that all makes sense. I feel a lot of that. I know the flat rate stuff. I have in my back pocket is if someone really wants a flat rate, I could figure out what this should cost. I'm still doing hourly in my head, kind of, I guess. I mean, I guess you can come at it from just what have you seen that cost from somewhere else and go by that versus here's how many hours it would take me. Here's the hourly rate I want. You can do it that way too. That's, I don't know. It's whatever works.
And I think with flat rate, you have to start introducing things like, I will do one draft and one round of revisions and
scope,
then you're done.
definitely,
right?
yeah, really
versus
define the scope.
With an hourly project, it's kind of if they want to do 5 rounds of revisions, is it a pain in the ass? Sure, but they're paying you. Versus I think with flat rate, you have to be much firmer in the expectations you establish with the clients on what you will deliver for what they are paying.
Well, and you also pay people for your independent work. So the negotiating you're doing with people that pay you for your independent work is also something you're doing when you negotiate with people, because you probably pay people flat rate sometimes, I would assume.
Yeah, most of the time.
Exactly. Because I was in my head, I was just wait a second, we mostly pay flat rate. And, that we try to keep the days short, but you could run 2 hours long. You don't know. Something went wrong. But shoot went over. But you paid everyone agreed to a flat rate. And
well, and I think that then your job or your responsibility, if you've gotten everyone to agree to a flat rate, is to be as respectful of their time as you can. 100%. And I think that as long as you make that clear as a value, most people respect that. And most people respect if something goes wrong and you go a little over, as long as you're making really clear that their time has value to you and you're treating it like it has value as much as you can.
Young communist Michelob Lynch Ultra told me that do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just a communist comment.
How
many people have you called?
I thought you were going to be talking some historical textbook person. No, it's Mick Lynch.
No, I just calling
communist.
him
Mick Lynch.
All right.
Well,
doth protest what?
Well, when I say we're engaged in capitalism, Mick Lynch, when you and I exchange, and he's like, that's not really the same thing as what I'm talking about when I say capitalism. I just wanted to introduce into the conversation that there's economies and then there's economies of scale.
Yeah, well, and I think money isn't the only way in a town that, and I know people hate this, but it's the facts. We are a mix of professional and hobbyist, and let's say prosumer, I know that's
Is that semi-pro? Is that what's prosumer?
I mean, it's a term they use for gear, but I feel like I would describe myself as prosumer because I work on things for money, but I also work on things for free. For me, I have like the 3 P's of like people, pay, project. And, when I first started out, like any of those was fine, like 1 out of 3, because I needed experience. And then you get to a point where you're hoping it's 2 out of 3. It's a project you like and people you like, or it's people you like and it's money, or it's a project you like and it's money. And, then like the golden triangle is like you do sometimes get projects that tick all 3 boxes.
What's a project like that for you in recent memory, or one you feel like naming?
Sins of the Father.
Okay.
I mean, I got paid for that.
Oh, yeah.
It was people I cared about, and it was a project I was excited about. I didn't get paid enough for it, but like nobody did. And I think that's the other thing is like there's a big difference when you're paying everybody like stipend or like flat rate or whatever you want to call it, and like, and then I get a day rate of $500. No one's doing that, or they shouldn't be. So, and then I think sometimes I get that in my day job. There's sometimes projects that are really cool that we're working on. Some of them are a little more kind of standard, cut and dry, and some of them are really cool, and I have good coworkers. So yeah, I mean, I think that that's like also though that in some ways stopped being as big a part of the conversation when I stepped away from freelancing, or like I don't freelance as much. So now that pay is sort of like I'm not paying my bills freelancing, I'm like 2 P's is great. People and projects, that's like what I have to worry about. And if they want to throw me $100, that's great. But it's less of a concern, or it's less of a motivation to do it. And then there's like a 4th P that I'm flirting with, that I would call like philosophy.
Whoa.
And that's like how they're treating their people. Like I learned when I AD'd, I used to AD like a lot. And part of the reason I would get hired is I could get extras to show up. And it's because I treat extras with a lot of respect, and like they're very important because they are. Because if they're needed on a project, they're enhancing it by being there. And on my sets, I treat extras with a lot of respect. And then when I'm an AD on someone else's set, I treat extras with a lot of respect. And there was a project I was going to be hired onto that had the 3 Ps. It was a cool project. It was a person I liked. It was going to pay me. And they were like, yeah, you're the AD, and we need to get this many people to show up, and we're not going to feed them, and we're going to have them there for like 8 hours, and they're going to provide their own wardrobe. And I was just like, no, like you want my name on this project so that these people will show up, but then you're not going to treat them in a way that like I philosophically resonate with. And so then I turned it down because I didn't want to be there treating people badly.
That seems like a super P.
It is maybe, but I think it's
It can overarch the others.
But I think it's something you get from a place of privilege, because I think while you're just like trying to get your feet under you, you just have to sort of take work as it comes, which is one of the things I didn't like about freelancing. And I think to be able to say no to a project on principle, maybe that's a better word for it, is like something you earn with privilege. You earn with having your bills paid. You earn with not having this be the primary way that you're making money. Because I think that like there were also times when I was freelancing that I said yes to projects that like I wasn't jazzed about, or I didn't agree with the way they were running things, or I didn't whatever. And it's like, well, I need the paycheck. So
Yeah.
Everyone does who doesn't have fuck you money.
Yeah.
Because you want enough money to say fuck you, and then if you're asked to do something you don't want to do. Because like I'm asked to do things that...
That's not how I would define fuck you money, but I understand that as a definition of fuck you money.
Wait, how do you understand fuck you money?
Like $1 million fucking dollars.
Yeah,
$1 million
what's
isn't
fuck
what it
you
used to
money?
be.
No, it's not. But like, I feel like for $1 million, I could be like, fuck you. I feel like the, in the year I make doesn't feel like fuck you money.
Says it on okay.
It's great. It's stability that I never have had before in my life.
And you're working in the arts.
And it's enough. It's enough. And it's enough to do projects on the side and all that. But like, I don't. That doesn't feel like fuck you money. Just because I can say no to things doesn't feel like I can say fuck you to things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I don't really know anyone in the Twin Cities who can say an absolute fuck you.
I mean,
Because,
there's situations in which I would say fuck you.
of course.
But I might regret it later.
I hear that. I do want to cover the AI thing at your work. You're on the AI committee, and you have
Yeah.
lots of thoughts on the ethics of AI. And I was going to talk about the state of the state, but I don't care. I want to talk about AI since that's going to take over the
Sure.
world. What does your AI committee make you do?
I mean, so we, as a video production house right now, like found ourselves leaning into AI tools, and there's some great tools. You know, there's some really great audio repair stuff out there. There's some updates to masking in Premiere that are great. There's some updates to, grain reduction and like all this stuff, and that's great. And I think that like most people can make peace with those tools that like could be a menial task that make your life better or easier. But then we start bumping into like generative AI, right? And part of it is like we work with schools and nonprofits, so we work with minors. And so like if we're doing a voice repair, that's one of the things we have to do sometimes because the hallway was loud or somebody misspoke or something. And it's like this program that we were using to do voice clone was not a closed loop. It was like, oh, you can use this blah blah blah, but we're gonna like your data may or may not be sold to like third party whatever. And we have like children's like minors voices that all of a sudden we realized we're not having control over where that data goes. Right. And there was another site we were using that did have a closed loop, but they were like, if you're doing anything with anyone under 11, like you need express written permission. If we find out you don't, we'll kick you off the site. And so just like we did this kind of deep dive on like privacy policies, really was a huge thing for us because we work with minors, and did a deep dive on some of like the racism that's pretty baked into AI, because when we do things like voice repair, if we're cloning someone's voice who has an accent, it'll standardize their voice. They'll sound more white, right? Wow. And so we did a little like, are there sites that do voice clone that like don't do that kind of like vocal repair? Our marketing team would use AI to like help them clean up project briefs and stuff, and finding out like, am I putting client sensitive information into this project brief and it's again going out into the ether. So our research had a lot to do with like which of these are closed loops, which of these are like, because a lot of AI programs are just like, we're going to take what you do and we're going to use it to make our AI program better.
Yeah.
And that means that your information isn't a closed loop. You can feel that that's ethical or not, but at least there's not like an access to this information that you're not in control of. And then we kind of did some testing of like, how much faster, how much better does any of this actually make anything? We tried to reduce the number of tools we were using instead of just like this site, this site, this site, this site. It's like, okay, we have this short list of, you can go here for this, you can go here for that, you can go here for this. And then, I mean, the one that I'm so stuck on all the time and like really haven't found much hopeful fixable about is like the environmental impact.
Don't worry, we'll run out of water before we run out of energy.
You really think so?
I was talking to.
It is, but it is a water impact. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. We're gonna have enough energy. I've been talking to some electrical engineer. I was talking to my electrical engineer friend today. It's like he works for an electricity company, and they're building data centers.
But it's the water they're using to cool the data centers.
Yeah.
We'll have power, but we won't have water.
No, yeah.
And so that's like a thing that me and some of my coworkers get stuck on that we haven't found a solution to or like answer to that we're satisfied with. There are a couple of companies that are using recycled water to do their cooling, which is marginally better. But yeah, it's just a thing that has become very prevalent very quickly. And my boss is a really thoughtful person. He talked to us all and like, first of all, made very clear that like job security is one of the things that's really central to our business, which I'm really lucky for. And that any of these tools we're examining are not in the interest of like human replacement, but that these are tools that like our clients have access to. And, if we don't have a way to sort of keep up with this like curve, we could just get left behind completely as a business. And I understand that as well. So I think he's trying to do a really admirable job of kind of this balancing act of valuing human input. You know, our work is really a human storytelling business. The work we do are like almost mini doc style. So like the human element is super important, but then yeah, that also you kind of have to, you can't just ignore these technological trends as they come up, because no one else will be, right? So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been good because I think it's allowed me to be really informed about it, but sometimes it's pretty depressing, and then sometimes it's like, oh my God, when will the AI bubble burst? And then sometimes like it's, oh God, it never will. And yeah, it's really, it's very interesting to think about.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to burst soon. They're bleeding money. I don't know if OpenAI is making any money.
Well, I'm not
Doing
so
AI.
well, I'm worried about what happens to our country when that happens.
The
And like, what if our
bursting AI?
bubble bursts and China, because they have better control over their economy, doesn't, you know? And we go into a tailspin.
Well, let's be
So-
fair. Is China making money on their AI right now? I don't know if they are.
Well, that's one of the things is
Yeah.
like AI is not making very much money anywhere.
yeah.
If you listen to your music on YouTube, which I do, there's a lot of like very desperate ads being like, AI is great, AI is so great. If you tried AI can do anything, please. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting.
See what happens.
And the other thing is that AI like literally just makes people stupid, and we do not need to be stupider collectively.
Weren't
I
we
hear
already
that.
dumb because of the internet and the phones?
We don't need to be dumber.
We don't need to be dumber.
You think it's going to
Dumber.
make us exponentially dumber
It
than
is,
Yeah.
it is making us exponentially dumber. It is. There is like already studies that it is making
Gen Z
people
is dumber than
stupider.
millennials,
It's making
supposedly.
people not able to think for themselves. It's making people not be able to be creative. It's making people not refine skills by repetition. Like even this AI that I'm kind of excusing because I hate editing audio, right? That's
here.
smoothing my fucking brain, right? Because those repetitive tasks that we do over and over again, we refine our skills for. That is keeping the brain wrinkly. That is keeping the synapses firing. So like it is making us stupider, objectively and quickly making us stupider.
I started brushing my teeth with the opposite hand to
What?
form new synapse paths. in
Look
my-
at you.
That's
Yeah.
one of the 10
Bravo.
things I read you could do. I think I sent you this list of 10 things.
Did you?
What was one of the other ones?
Yeah.
I can't remember it because
Go
I'm
on.
dumber because of the AI. It was. I genuinely. I think it was.
remember one of them?
I was walking on grass barefoot, but I'm.
Walking
I'll
on
do that in the
grass.
summer. I'm not going to do it right now.
Is that inspired by
obviously.
Die Hard?
Just go out and do
Yeah.
some like ice skating on your driveway in your bare feet. Yeah.
No, but there's. You've heard. You seem like someone that's heard of this. Putting your feet on grass is called grounding, and for whatever reason, you've never heard this.
I was
No.
about to ask if you meant grounding.
Yeah,
I have a
grounding.
grounding
Oh,
mat.
not like a Die Hard
You've
thing
heard of
where
this?
they got his shoes
You're
off.
so stuck.
No, I have a grounding blanket and a grounding
He's not
mat.
saying to walk on glass.
No, I said no,
Grass.
no. I'm saying like in Die Hard. No, because in Die Hard,
Yeah, you take your shoes off and you
yeah, you feel the carpet, or whatever, when you get
feel
off
the
a
carpet
plane.
with your
Yeah.
toes. I mean, similar. Yes, similar.
I think it doesn't have to be like Earth though. Like
Yeah, it has to be.
I mean,
Earth,
in the
sure.
look at
movie,
you like you're a doctor.
well, no, in the movie it says that it will like help calm him. It's a similar concept. I think
In Die Hard.
Yeah, that's why he takes his shoes
Yeah.
off. Is there's the guy on the plane who's like, if you're nervous, take
Yeah,
your
take
shoes
your
off
shoes off.
and feel the.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's how they get
thank
his
you.
shoes off during the
That's
movie.
why he's not wearing
Yeah.
shoes as he tries to like counter espionage the building.
I thought it was just. I haven't remembered Die Hard though.
They
I'm
just
really
thought Bruce
bad.
Willis
That's
had
why
really
I
beautiful
asked,
toes.
is it inspired by Die Hard? Because they're trying to get you take off your shoes and touch some grass.
Should touch grass. What do you think? We blew past the time, but I still want to ask. Where do you think we're
Don't
at with
call
the state
that
of the
out.
state?
Of
Shit.
Minnesota.
Yeah, like in 1 year from now, let's say we were sitting down like this in February of 2027.
Well, I was
What do you
like,
hope
no one's
happens?
been murdered in the last 2 weeks. That's been nice. At least, sorry, no one's been publicly murdered.
Yeah.
No, there was a murder in Brooklyn Center yesterday.
Sorry, not related to ICE. That was.
The authoritarian state hasn't
Yeah,
killed
sorry.
people in the streets.
No one has been executed by the government publicly
Jeez,
in a public space in the last 2 weeks.
Where historical isn't murder, I'm told.
So I don't know. I mean,
Are you working on this new festival, North Star Film Festival?
yeah.
What are you doing for it?
Tell of a pivot.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, you're making things.
I'm making
for it.
things, and they're gonna call Oxford Comma a sponsor because I donated $250.
Oh, is that?
Ooh,
Oh
nice.
man, that's all we have to donate to get in.
I
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know.
Movie
Yeah,
baiters
that
might be
out.
making some
you
donations.
want to movie bait something? You
Yeah.
want to fucking movie bait something? Who's ever the fuck watching this? When Z-Fest
Or
was like
listening.
crashing and burning, I was like, they should have told people that they were hurting for money. I really bet people would donate to keep around this festival that they care about. And like then North Star opens up and they're like, hey, we could use donations. $850 is all that has been donated to them. And I'm like, well, clearly I overestimated how much our community values this. And I get that we're already paying to be a part of it. And I get that that sucks. But like, we're in a place where like arts, state of the state, arts organizations, grants are just like crumbling and closing at an alarming rate. And if you love an art thing, now's the time to throw some money at it because it might not be here next year.
That's what I said.
What I think we need to get across to the normies is that they can participate and be patrons of the arts. They don't have to read the New York Times or,
Yes.
use a butt plug to. Those are the two things.
Butt plug.
To be patrons of the arts.
How does that make you a patron of the arts?
Yeah, butt
I
plug.
mean, there's artisans that make the butt plugs. I'm
Sure.
Go to moviebaiters/butt plugs to get your
Okay,
butt
so
plug.
you know what? But that's a really good point because my husband's family, my mother-in-law, I love her. She comes to everything that I do. She comes. I touch my microphone. I'm so sorry, Kirk.
No worries.
Comes to my movies, comes to my plays, comes to everything. But the rest of his family like regularly goes to see things at the Guthrie, but like has never come to something that I have done.
Okay, in-laws, you're hearing it now.
Calling you out.
But it's because of that. It's because the New York Times, the Guthrie, the this, the that, and like community theater, Z-Fest. Because like my parents come to Z-Fest. My parents love Z-Fest. They love short films. Going to Z-Fest made them start looking up the Oscar short films every year because they're like, wow, short films are so cool, right? But people, again, it's like the mirror thing for normies. Is like, I can go to the Guthrie, but I can't go to that independent film. And then also like in the times that I have screened at like a festival locally and like my actors or whatever have gotten like their parents or their families to come. I remember like when we screened Sins, one of our actors' parents was just like, this was a real movie. And it was like, yep, we sure do be out here making real movies.
Yeah.
But there's again, and I feel like a disconnect in perception.
Well, that's why you're on this podcast, I'd like to think.
Because I think if people's parents came to Z-Fest, they would like Z-Fest.
Send this to your parents. North Star Film Festival. Bring your parents. Bring kids.
Sponsored
we really
by,
need kids
yeah.
and sponsors. Good looking out, Joey.
And go see community theater, and if somebody's stupid film is screening, go see their stupid film. You'll go see stupid Hollywood films. Go see the stupid film that was made here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, because I know they're not all good. But I mean that with love. I have purchased as many of them as I can, and I am like watching them. I watched Uncontained the other night. That was shot here.
Uncontained. Who made that?
huh?
Morley Nelson.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
Come on the show, Morley.
And but like people will show up for the Minecraft movie, for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and they won't go to like whoever, whatever,
Because it's brand.
Yeah.
That's why we're creating a brand. Like the Farx brand within JK. It's this thing that it's mostly males between the ages of 25 and 44. But hey, it's
All
somebody.
right.
my favorite demographic.
Yeah.
25 to 44.
But yeah, I think there's a disconnect. And I think people don't understand, no matter how many times you say it, I think they don't understand how much it means, like, and how much it can change things
You mean so much to us. Please come.
to show up. Yeah.
Show
Yeah,
up.
come to North Star Film Festival, please.
Well,
Sponsored
I
by.
also know a lot of artists who, like, their parents just have never come to, like, anything they've done or supported anything
That's why they
they've
became
done.
artists. Those are the.
No, I became an artist because my parents have showed up to everything I've done for my entire life.
That's beautiful.
All right, yeah, we can clip that out. Say it to Vanessa's parents.
She'll love that.
Yeah.
They know. They were on the red carpet with me at the Twin Cities Film Festival. I was getting interviewed, and I said something about my mom, and they, like, made my parents come onto the red carpet with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be.
It is. It's great.
Well, our last question of the night, because Kyle keeps looking at me, is who would
Don't
you...
put my towels away. When I pull my ear, that means this balloons are supposed to
It
drop.
means fucking get on with it.
Where the fuck are the balloons?
Who would you recommend we reach out to be on this podcast?
Josh Sibley.
Josh Shipley.
I know that name.
Well, my hope is, so he did a feature the same year we did Silly Little Wounds called Naked Shakespeare. And the last I heard, it's almost done. Greg Borman worked on it. And
Okay.
I worked on it. And Joey Ford is in it. And Jack Jackson, what's his butt, is in it.
Jack Jackson? Swagger?
Yes.
Swagger Jack.
Swagger Jack is in it. And Jacoby is in it.
Oh, wow.
And Luke, what's his butt, is in it.
Oh, Luke who moved to the West Coast.
Yeah.
I know who you talk. Tall guy, Langfield.
Yeah.
Hi, Luke.
Wow.
And it is my hope that he will finish his movie and you can watch it and you can have him on here and he can talk about it.
Okay, Josh.
Also, Abby Lowenstein.
Oh yeah, we'd love to have Abby on. I wasn't supposed to say this because I'm glad this is
Okay.
coming at the end. For some reason, I didn't know what her voice sounded like, so I was confused in your movie. I was like, "That's what her voice sounds like? I've seen her in movies. That's not what
Yeah,
her voice sounds
apparently
like."
he thought you directed her to have an accent.
Yeah, I thought you
in the
directed
movie.
her to have an accent. I was like, "Why is she putting on a Minnesota accent?"
Oh no, that's so funny because I remember distinctly like standing in line with her somewhere and she's like, "I don't think I have that much of a Minnesota accent," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Girl, she has a strong Minnesota accent. I love her, but it is like real talk."
Sorry, Abby. I was just very confused.
She knows. She knows.
She knows. All right.
Love you and your accent, girl.
Well, thank you, Vanessa, for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Have a good night. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN. Join us next time for another debate.